This is the wrong way to look at fasting. So some of you guys out there tend to feel like if you lost all your chill one night with some ice cream or Oreos or whatever the case may be, you'll go and say things like, it's okay, I'm gonna fast the next day and work it off. It didn't quite work like that, okay? What's good, you guys? It's Britt Inez coming back at you with another daily dose of body goal realness. So, what is intermittent fasting? All your questions, I got answers. I got so many of you guys that posting questions. When I shot my last YouTube video, uploaded that on my 36-hour intermittent fasting and behind the scenes of my photo shoot. Now I decided to do a full out video featuring your questions about intermittent fasting. So I am going to be spilling the tea on all those things so that way you can get information, because I understand that it is so much information out there online. It can be really rough to figure out how do you make it make all sense. So I'm gonna break it all down for you today. All right, so like I shared with you guys, I do practice intermittent fasting just depending on what my goals are at the moment. I'll just kind of share this with you. When I am focusing on bulking and building muscle, gaining muscle, I do not fast, okay? However, when I am looking to lean out, when I'm looking to lose some fat, or I just want to do it for health purposes, I will incorporate fasting and everything like that, just in different increments. So one of the first questions that I get is, what is intermittent fasting? Like, what is it? So intermittent fasting is just this. It's when you go an extended period of time without eating and you structure your eating windows. So that would mean you eat during certain hours of the day and you don't eat in certain hours of the day, okay? And if you really think about it, like technically most of us fast anyway without even thinking about it, because when you sleep, you're fasting. Now, there's different research out there that says what constitutes a fasting window and what doesn't. So when you hear intermittent fasting, or I might refer to it as IF throughout this video because I'm going to be saying it a lot, there are multiple different types that you can follow. So one of the most common ones out there is called 16-8, and that is when you fast for 16 hours and you eat for 8 hours. Now, it doesn't really matter if you want to eat from 10 o'clock in the morning until 8 hours after that, or if you want to eat from 9 until 5, or if you want to eat from 2 o'clock to 10 p.m. You really have to just pick whatever's going to work best for your lifestyle, and that's what I've seen to be really successful when I've incorporated intermittent fasting, when I've had clients do it as well. Now, in addition to 16-8, there's all different variations of that. There's also 24, so you fast for 20 hours, eat 4 hours. Of course, then with 24, you would have a lot less time to eat, right? So some people find that kind of challenging and difficult because they still want to get their calories in, but they just can't fit everything into a 4-hour window. So what some people would do is break it down into like kind of 2 meals during that time, and that'll be it. And it's whatever you can kind of get in within those meals, of course, making sure that it's body goal friendly and appropriate for your goals. And then there are longer fasts after that. So there's a 24-hour fast you can do where exactly what it sounds like. That I've done all of these too, just so you guys know. So if you have questions, kind of comment down below and I'll get to them. There's 24-hour fast, 36-hour fast, 48-hour fast, and some people have even fasted longer than that. I have not gone over, I think the longest fast that I've done has been about like 36 to 48 hours. I haven't gone any longer than that. I just haven't felt the need to do that, to be really honest with you. So, but I will say this, with the 24-hour fast that I found when I first started doing fasting, I found that when I broke my fast at the 24-hour mark, I was like starving, okay? Like starving hungry. So typically when I fast for an entire day, I really only get hungry twice throughout the day. And it's normally around 10 in the morning and then like 4 or 5 o'clock at night, right? But what I found with a 24-hour fast, the minute I broke that fast after the 24-hour mark, I was starving. You hear me? I mean, hungrier than I normally am, when my metabolism is just blowing up. And it was really hard for me to like control my eating because I was so hungry. Now, what I found interesting, at least just from my experience, when I have gone into longer fasts, think about like maybe like my 36-hour fast, which is essentially fasting 24 hours and then going to sleep, I'm not that hungry the next morning when I break my fast. So that is why if I'm going to do an extended fast, I'm going to fast for 36 hours, because I'm gonna fast for 24 hours, not break it, and then go to sleep. So it may be 36 hours, maybe longer, just depends on how much sleep I get that night. One of the common questions that I get is, what is the biggest benefit of intermittent fasting? Now, I'm a believer that you have 2 different types of benefits that you can get when you intermittent fast. you can either get health benefits from it or you can get fat loss benefits from it. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get both at the same time, but typically I find people fall into one category or the other when it comes to fasting. So let me just kind of start by talking about some of the health benefits of it that you may not know about. So when you fast, it actually helps to increase the fat burning hormone in your body. And it can also help to decrease your insulin levels. Now, the reason why insulin levels matters is because the higher insulin levels are, the more fat you're gonna store, okay? So there's been a lot of research out there, guys, that has shown intermittent fasting to really help to lower your insulin levels as well. Now, keep in mind too, when you also have lower insulin levels, you don't have those kind of spikes that you experience that can cause you to have like sugar cravings and things like that. So one hand kind of really washes the other. Now, other health benefits that I have heard about are just kind of a higher spiritual awareness and clarity. Now, from what I've heard, that really doesn't happen until you get to like the 60-hour mark, which I already shared with you. I don't fast that long. But what I have found is that when I've done my 36-hour fast, I do have mental clarity. I'm not necessarily foggy. At least for me and my experience, that hasn't happened. And when I did experience any of it, it was when I was first starting out. My body wasn't really adjusted to it. So let's talk about the fat loss benefits, because so many of you guys out there talk about wanting to do fat fasting, you want to lose weight, you want to get snatch weights, all that kind of jazz. So here's the thing. Fasting, it will help with fat loss for the reasons I just mentioned, like with your hormones and everything like that. So you can kind of see how the more you have your levels chilled out, the less cravings you're going to have, less blood sugar spikes you're going to have, and which can help you to stick on your diets and everything like that. Also, what fasting does is it puts your body in a caloric deficit. Now, you have to be in a caloric deficit if you want to lose weight. That's just it, okay? That's just science. If you intake less calories than what you need to maintain and you burn those things off, you will lose. You're just gonna lose. So what fasting does is, because it creates that window where you do not eat or you abstain from eating. So most of us end up eating less when you are eating in that eating window than you would, okay? Now, I will caution you guys this. This is the wrong way to look at fasting. So some of you guys out there tend to feel like if you lost all your chill one night with some ice cream or Oreos or whatever the case may be, you'll go and say things like, it's okay, I'm gonna fast the next day and work it off. It doesn't quite work like that, okay? The way fasting works, the results are cumulative. So it's not like, so when you stop eating, of course you're gonna lose weight, but when you eat again, your weight's gonna go back up. But over time, you'll find that your weight will get lower and lower and lower and lower the more that you do it, okay? So it's cumulative. So you can't look at this as like a kind of like undo for kind of falling off or something like that. So just make sure you're going into it with the right reasons. All right, so one of the questions that I get is around muscle gain. So I know some of you guys out there want to put on muscle, you want to build, build your legs, your booty, your shoulders, your back, or whatever it is. I mean, you're kind of thinking about, okay, how's this going to affect my gains? So in the beginning of this video, I shared, you have to kind of be clear on what your goals are. Are you wanting to lose fat, lose weight, or are you wanting to put on muscle, okay? Because if you're looking to put on muscle and gain muscle, then you have to be eating in a surplus in order to do that. And when you are fasting, you can't do that, right? Unless you're gonna eat double what you would need in those hours that you're eating in, which really makes no sense. You're gonna be miserable if you do that. So really think about what your goals are before you consider this. So I will answer the question on what will it affect your muscle gains. So the short answer is no. Now, I know a lot of you guys think that, oh, I'm gonna shrivel up if I don't get, I'm gonna shrivel up if I don't eat, right? Well, actually, you're not. Your muscles are gonna store a lot more than what you think they are. So what ends up happening when you fast, you won't lose your muscle gains per se, because you're still gonna be stimulating your muscle if you are working out. Some people don't work out. And also to kind of keep in mind that if you eat how you should eat in your eating window, you're not gonna really lose your muscle gains, because you should be at least eating to where you need in order to be able to maintain your muscle, if that's one of your goals. Now, if you are under eating and not eating properly when you are eating, and now you throw fasting into the mix, then yeah, you will get smaller, and you will probably notice that the muscle that you do have, you're gonna start to lose on that. So this really kind of comes down to how you eat during your eating window, and that's gonna really determine how it's going to affect your gains. Now, for some of you guys out there who are kind of curious, yes, there has been research out there that has shown that after you fast for 24 hours, it can help to increase your HGH levels, which can help to keep your muscles feeling full. Now, you need to make sure that you kind of also keep in mind too, that all this is going to come down and depend on how you're eating when you are eating in your window, okay? I cannot stress this enough. I cannot emphasize this enough. If you're not eating properly and getting the right amount of protein, the right amount of carbs, fats in your diet, then you're not gonna be able to retain, okay? So just don't forget that part. Another question that I get is, does it matter what I eat when I'm fasting? Yes, it absolutely matters, okay? I don't care if your goals are to lose weight or if your goals are to gain muscle. What you eat matters, okay? It makes a difference, because if you're looking to lose weight, then like I said, you need to be in a deficit, and you can't be in a deficit if you're eating more than what your body needs to maintain. Now, on the flip side of that, if you're looking to build muscle, which if you're looking to build muscle, you shouldn't be fasting. I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're looking to do that, then you have to make sure that you're eating in a surplus. So you have to eat in excess of what you would need to maintain, okay? Now, you can't just go crazy with that. Some people think that, oh, I made a lot of room in my diet because I fasted. Well, if when you eat pizza and ice cream and burgers and fries and all this kind of stuff like that, all you've done was give your body more than what it needed, and then you gave it then more. So now it's going to have to work twice as hard to get all that stuff off, and you would have undone the benefits that you would have started to put in place by doing your fast. So make sure you have some chill when you do eat during your windows. Another common question that I get is, can I eat fruit while fasting? Now, I don't know who out there has y'all thinking that you can eat fruit during a fast, but my definition of fast is just that, you fast. Like, you do not eat. There is no food, okay? You don't eat during the fast. You're fasting. So I do not believe in eating anything that has caloric value in it. So what I would do when I'm fasting, I'll do water, I'll do coffee, black coffee, tea. I drink my coffee black anyway. 0 calorie beverages, like that's it guys. Okay, another question that I often get is, how do you keep up with fasting with a super busy day? Meaning you're always on the go, you don't have a lot of time to cook, prepare, all these things like that. So my answer to that is this: fasting in any form should fit into your lifestyle. So for my ladies that are super busy out there, fellas too, I get it. It just may not be feasible for you to eat regularly throughout the day just with your schedule. So what I do with clients like that, I will tell them to look to see what window do they actually have available for eating. Now that some clients that I work with, some people that I know, 2 p.m. and on is great for them. Other people that I know, they're fine with waiting until like 4 p.m. because they spend the majority of their time up at night, so they're good throughout the day. I've even had people who have worked overnight who said, well, I'm my hungriest when I'm working and I'm good throughout the day. So again, you have to kind of find the window that's going to work best for you with your lifestyle. And that is how you should kind of go about deciding when you're going to eat and everything like that, because the thing about fasting is consistency. So whatever that you can consistently do, given your schedule, that's what you should do. So ladies, a lot of you guys are asking, will fasting make me lose my period? Now, I have seen a lot of research out there about this, guys. Some research says it won't have any effect. Others say that it will have an effect. My whole thing is this: I have not personally experienced that. Clients that I have used this with have not experienced that. But again, too, I do not do some of the more extreme versions of fasting. So I know people out there who will only eat 3 days a week and then they're fasting the rest, right? Or they might eat 4 days a week and they're fasting the rest. I do not do multiple fasts in a week. I don't even do several fasts over the course of a month, okay? So for me, my results are gonna be a little bit different. Now, I will say that every woman kind of has a different reaction with things hormonally. So it can be the case that it may happen for you. I'm not gonna sit here and make that statement, but in my experience, it hasn't happened. One of the questions that I often get is, Britt, are you starving? So let me just kind of say this: I am actually not that hungry when I fast, guys. I am hungrier when I'm normally eating. So for me, like when I'm fasting, like I kind of mentioned, I will typically do a little bit longer fast. So I'll do a fast where it's like, end up being 36 hours. And for me, like, I tend to wake up pretty early each morning. So I'm normally hungry around 10 o'clock in the morning, usually. And I'm also hungry later on around like 4 o'clock in the day. Now, those are the only 2 times in the day where I'm like super, super hungry when I'm fasting. Believe it or not. I might have some hunger pangs towards the end of the day, but again, that's when I'll drink tea. I'll also drink coffee to kind of help with the hunger pangs. Now, one thing I have learned is that when I'm fasting, I'm a lot more sensitive to caffeine, okay? No surprise there. So I do not drink coffee after a certain point in the day. Even though coffee really helps to satisfy my hunger, I can't drink it after like 4 o'clock when I'm fasting because I will be up. Like that caffeine is just in my system with like nowhere to go. I'm like on 10 at 11 o'clock at night. So what I find is that towards the end of the night, I'll do things like LaCroix water, sparkling water, teas, and stuff like that to kind of help. So I want to take a little minute and talk about some of the side effects of fasting that you guys may not hear people talk about. I don't hear a lot of talk about this. So one thing that definitely happens every time that I fast is my body temperature drops, okay? And it makes sense, right? You're not giving your body anything to kind of go on. So I don't care if I'm somewhere where it's 90 degrees outside, it could be 50 degrees outside, does not matter. If I have heat on my house, I'm cold, okay? The end of the night, like I am super cold. It doesn't really take a whole lot for me to get even colder. So I'm normally wrapped up with a hoodie, stuff like that on when I am fasting on those nights because I just tend to get really cold. Other things that happen, okay y'all, so this might be a little TMI, but whatever. Make sure if you're gonna fast, you have some mints with you. Now, I'm the kind of person where, I don't know, oral hygiene is super important to me, so I'm always gonna have something on me, but make sure you have some mints because, yeah, it gets a little stale. When you're not eating, you can imagine your breath just kind of gets stale, and then you start to kind of release ketones relatively quickly because when you start to fast and you go into like that, you cross that that mark of where your body kind of like switches over, then your body will start to be like, oh, okay, we're not getting any food. Okay, cool, I'm gonna release these ketones. So just know that you will want to have some mints with you, okay? When you are fasting, that's just something to kind of keep in mind because I did not think about that or know that when I first started fasting, and I had to kind of learn that the hard way. All right, guys, so that is it for me. If you have other questions about intermittent fasting that you want me to cover that I did not cover, make sure you drop them down below in the comments. And let me know because there's so many different ways that we can talk about this, and I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys information that's going to really help you guys out. All right, don't forget to go ahead on and click that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye.